Hi guys, welcome to this week's tutorial. My name is Agnes in case you're new to the channel, and we are going to be doing ruffled shorts. So if you know me, you know I love ruffles. I have tutorials on skirts, on tops about ruffles. So this time around I decided to do a ruffled short. So it is going to be quite a short tutorial. It's going to be easy to do. All you'll need is to do your measurements correctly, and I will be showing you how to do that. So this is how it looks like, and this is how you take your measurements. So we are going to do the crotch area measurements, just where you want, from the back where you want it to your short to end. Mine is going to be 25 inches, and around the hips area, this is about 39.5, around 39.5. This can also fit 40. Okay, so to start, you're going to need for this tutorial I used a 3.0 millimeter hook. I used Winter King. This is acrylic yarn. It's about size 3 yarn, so you can use any DK yarn or medium weight yarn. Yeah, so I'm going to use scissors, and like you saw, we need measurements. Okay, so use a tape measure. So we are going to start with the waist. For the waist, you see I measured 39.5. So we are going to make chains, make a slip knot and make chains. So for that, your hips measurement, subtract 4.5. So I'm going to measure this, so that I'm going to make this chain, in that when I stretch this chain, it should be equal to my hips measurements minus 4.5. So mine, when I stretch it, it should be an equivalent of 36 inches. Okay, so do the chain and I'll meet you once you have it. All right, so this is my chain. This is going to be able to pass through your hips, but you'll need a little bit of, one jump or two to get it through, so that we have a perfect fitting. I don't want it to be so loose, so that's why I made less than the hip size, but it will definitely stretch to your hips measurements. So when I stretch, it's about 36, but when you're putting it on, it stretches a little bit more, but you'll have, to make a little bit of a jump. You know how you're putting on tight pants and all that. That's how it will be. So we are going to join this. Straighten your chain. For this tutorial, I made 120 chains. That's what I made for this size, which is fits 37 to 40 inches of hips. So we are going to join this into the very first chain with a slip stitch, and we are going to row 1. This is for the waistband, so you're going to chain 3. So we are starting with the waistband going downwards. So yarn over, and in that very first stitch where you join the 2 chains, you are going to make a double crochet. So that's how you make a double crochet. So you're going to go into the next chain, make another double crochet, then go into the next chain, make a 3rd double crochet, and you're going to do this for the rest of this row. So it's going to be 1 double crochet in every chain. So that will be our row 1, and I will meet you once you are done with this row and show you how to continue. All right, so I'm done. This is how it looks like. Okay, so we are now going to close this off, and we'll use a slip stitch on top of that very first double crochet, like that. So we are going to row 2, and for row 2 we're going to use front post and back post. So you're going to chain 3, and under that very double crochet, you see that double crochet there, you're going to make a front post by putting your hook under the double crochet like that. Okay, so go under the double crochet like that and complete your double crochet. So that will be our front post, and then for the back post, you're going to go from behind over that double crochet, that is like that, from the behind, and complete that double crochet. So that is a back post, and the next will be a front post. Go under the double crochet like that. it's better when you look at it than how I explain it. So go over it for the, for the back post like that. So we're going to be alternating between front post and back post. So now it is a front post, so you go under the double crochet like that, and for the back post you are going to go from the behind on top of the double crochet like that. So yeah, that is going to be the pattern for this second row: front post and then back post. Front post and then back post. So you're going to repeat this until you get to the end of this row 2, and this is how it looks. So I will meet you once you're back here. Alright, so we are at the end of row 2, and we're going to close this off by making a slip stitch on top of that very first front post. So for row 3 we are just going to repeat this pattern. So you're going to chain 3, and under the front post that we made, you'll go ahead and make a front post, and on top of that very back post you'll go ahead and make another back post. The next is going to be a front post, and then a back post. So you're going to do this, okay, and I am going to meet you once you are done with this row. Okay, just repeat the same pattern and I'll see you once you're done. Alright, so I'm done, and we're going to close this off with a slip stitch, just like we did with the previous rows. And for the next row we are going to be working with half double crochets. So we are done with the waistband, and now we start with the half double crochet. So chain 2, and in that very first stitch on top of that very first front post, you're going to insert a half double crochet. So you're going to go on the next stitch, which was the back post, and make another half double crochet, and into the next stitch make a half double crochet, and in the next and next and next you're going to work with half double crochets all through for this row. And once you're done, I will meet you at the end of this row. Alright, so I'm done. We're going to close this off, and then you are going to need your stitch markers. You can use any other yarn color. So you're going to need your stitch markers for this, and count your stitches all through. So I had mine were 120. Okay, I had 120 stitches, so I'm just going to chain 2 and then put my stitch markers. So 120, I divided it into 2. Count all of your stitches, divide it into 2. So that's 60. I put this pink stitch marker at my 60th. Okay, so I know that is where my half is. So my half, I divided it again into 2, so I have 30 on one side and 30 on the other side. So I put those stitch markers, the red and the purple, to mark the 30 in between. So I will not need this pink one anymore now that I already have. So where the pink was and where my row starts, that is going to be on the sides, and where these two are going to do where we do increases. Okay, so row 3, you are going to turn your work after you've chained the 2. So every time you get to the end of the row, you turn your work. So in that very first stitch, you're going to insert a half double crochet. Going to the next stitch, insert a half double crochet. So this is going to be on the side where we start the rows, is going to be on the side. So insert half double crochets in every stitch, and you're going to do this until you get to where your first stitch marker is, which is in the middle of the front part and at the back, the middle of the back part. Okay, all right, so here where my stitch marker is, so I will remove it, and in that very stitch where my stitch marker was, I'm going to insert 3 half double crochets. So I had 30 half double crochets, and now in this middle space I'll insert 3 half double crochets, and then put your stitch marker in that very second stitch. So 1, and then that very second one, that's where you'll put your stitch marker. So we'll be increasing in every second stitch. So you're going to go ahead and insert double crochets, 1 double crochet in every stitch, sorry, half double crochet in every stitch, and you'll do this until you get to your second stitch marker. So if this was the front, the other one will be the middle of the back. So once you get there, also do the same, put in 3 half double crochets, and then mark the second, and then continue to end the row, and I will meet you once you're at the end of the row. Alright, so we're coming to the end of this second row, and we are going to close this off with a slip stitch on top of that first half double crochet. So row 3, so we are going to chain 2. Don't forget to turn your work, so turn your work, and in that very first stitch we are going to put a half double crochet. Go into the next stitch, make a half double crochet. Go into the next stitch, make a half double crochet. Go into the next stitch, make a half double crochet, and do that until you're where your stitch marker is, and I will see you there. Okay, so I've come to my stitch marker. So when you turn your work around, you will find that your stitch marker will always be now on the first, on the first on the first stitch of the 3 double crochets. So you put in 3 of these. Okay, put your stitch marker in that very last one, in the second one. Okay, so go ahead and in the rest of the stitches insert 1 half double crochet in each. Once you get to the other stitch marker, you will do the same, and you are going to be increasing in that middle stitch, okay, all the time in that middle stitch. When you get there, on the other side, you'll do the same. You are going to repeat this pattern until you have your desired length. As for me, I'm going to be doing 10 inches before I come and put the ruffles, or even divide the leg holes. Alright, so this is what I have so far, and this is 10 inches when you measure from the top to the bottom along this midline. So this is my 10 inches, but remember my crotch area I had 25, so if you put 10 plus 10 at the back, that makes it 20. Okay, so 20, you'll get your crotch area measurement minus 2 because we have a stretch, so I need a total number of 23 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off my yarn, and to cover these 3 inches before we are going to go into the middle stitch here where we were making our increases, and then I'm going to make a chain that is equivalent to 3 inches. So I had 25 minus 2, that is 23, so I already have 20, 10 at the front and 10 at the back, so I'm going to go ahead and make chains that are equivalent to 3 inches to give me a total number of 23. because I'm leaving that 2-inch thing for, you know, the stretch, because it stretches, the yarn kind of stretches. Okay, so I'm just going to chain until I have an equivalent of 3 inches. So all right, so yeah, this is 3 inches, and this is about so I'm just going to go ahead and join this on the other side like this, and then slip stitch on the next stitch just to make it, and then chain 1 just to make it secure, and then cut off the yarn like that, tighten it. So this is what we have. So this is going to be the base of our leg hole. Sorry, I poured some wine on it and it just looks weird. Okay, so this now stretches it to the crotch measurements that I wanted, 23. Okay, so we are now going to work on the leg holes like that all around. So we'll work on one first. So I'm going to count my stitches and then find the middle. So I'll go into my 8th stitch, which is the middle. Then I'm going to chain 2 after reattaching my yarn, chain 2, and then I'll make half double crochets. So make sure you're working on the side that corresponds to the pattern that we were using. So that is my first half double crochet. Go into the next chain, make the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll just work this last one in there just to make it secure so that it's not loose, and then you'll go ahead and you know, continue going with double crochet, half double crochets in every stitch. So as you can see, it's corresponding with the pattern. I work in the opposite direction, more like if I had turned my work. So you're going to do that, go all around until you come back to where you started. Go around the leg hole like that, and I'll meet you once you are back here. All right, so we're coming to the end of row 1, and like any other, we are going to close this off with a slip stitch on top of that very first half double crochet. Oopsie, that's tight. Forgive my broken nail. So for row 2, we are now going to start on the ruffles. Okay, so you're going to turn your work, chain 2, turn your work, this is how it looks like so far. Okay, it's starting to form, it stretches, so that's why I left out the 2 inches, so because it stretches. So you're going to row 2, you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and for this row we are going to start with doing the increases. Okay, so in that very first stitch you are going to make a half double crochet, go into the next stitch, make a half double crochet into the next one, you are going to make 2 half double crochets, go into the next stitch, make a half double crochet, and in that very same stitch you're going to make another half double crochet. So we are making increases. Go into the next one, make a half double crochet, and in that very same stitch make another half double crochet. Into the next stitch, make 2 half double crochets in that very same stitch, like that. So in every stitch you are going to put 2 half double crochets, 2 half double crochets in every stitch for this row, and I'll meet you once you are done with this row. So go ahead, 2 half double crochets in every stitch till the end of this row. So yeah, at the end of row 2, or you can call it row 1 of increases, so you're going to close this off like usual, slip stitch. So row 3, you're going to chain 2, then turn your work. Okay, and in that very first stitch insert 1 half double crochet. Go into the next stitch, you are going to insert the first half double crochet, and then in that very stitch insert another second half double crochet. So go into the next stitch, insert only 1 half double crochet, but your next stitch you are going to insert 2 half double crochets. So we are skipping 1, making 1 increase, and then the next stitch no increase. So here it's only 1 half double crochet, and in the next stitch you are going to insert 2 half double crochets. That's 1 and that is 2. Okay, so the next one is just going to be 1 half double crochet, and the next one will be 2 half double crochet. So that is the pattern: 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets, and you are going to repeat this pattern for this row. And I will see you, once you're done. So it's 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets. Just repeat that simple pattern. All right, so we are coming to the end of this row. Yeah, ruffles take a time, take time, but they are pretty. So if you're patient enough, then yeah, you can do it. So now we are going to row 3, and in this row you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and we are not going to do any increases at all. No increases for this row, so it's just going to be 1 single half double crochet. Right, go into the next stitch, only 1 half double crochet. Go into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet, and this is going to be it. So for this row it is just going to be 1 half double crochet in every stitch till the end, so no more increases. So you're going to do 1 half double crochet in every stitch until you get to the end of this row, and you will close it off. And for the next row you'll make another row like this of only half double crochets, and the next and the next, so no more increases. I made a total number of 3 rows of no increase. Okay, I'll meet you once you have your 3 rows of no increase. Okay, so repeat this pattern for 3 rows. The pattern, what I mean is this last row. Repeat this last row for 3 rows. I'll meet you once you are done with your 3 rows. I am done, and this is how our first leg hole looks like, So I did a total number of 6 rows. The first row was no increase, then I increased in the next 2 rows, and then I did 3 rows of no increase. So we are now going to repeat this same pattern on the other leg hole. Okay, so yeah, Simple as that. So you're going to attach your yarn on this other side. Get into the middle of where we started from. Make sure you're working on the side that corresponds with the pattern. So you are going to reattach your yarn in those chains somewhere. Then chain 2 and make a half double crochet. Go into the next chain, make a half double crochet. Into the next chain, make a half double crochet. So it's going to be the same pattern. You're going to make a row of half double crochets, then come make an increase, that is 2 in every stitch, and then for the next row make an increase of 1, then 2 in the same stitch, 1, then 2 in the same stitch, and then come and make only half double crochets for 3 rows. Same thing as you have on your previous leg haul is what you are going to repeat on this one. And yeah, so do that. Once you're done with your next leg haul, I'll meet you to show you what we do next. Okay, so go all around for this row and the next rows, just repeating the same thing like we did on the other side. Okay, so go all around, increases, then rows of no increase, and I will see you once you are done. All right, so I'm done. I cut the loose yarns, I sewed them in, I made a chain for the waist because you'll need a chain to, you know, to tighten your waist, and I put it in through the ribbing. Okay, it was using, yeah, so put it in through there. That is what you'll use to adjust your waist. This is how the short looks like. Yeah, I hope you liked it. I hope you're able to follow through. If you're not, you can pause and go back on, you know, so that you're able to understand better. But I hope you liked it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment, and let me know how you managed. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.